and welcome to your favorite show, Identities Umhlobo, where we talk about everything that's exciting, that touches our lives. We have the series Women to Watch, and we are profiling female leaders, but in a different and exciting way, more than the usual that we've seen, where we are taking them on a fun ride where they answer some really cute, fun questions about themselves, because we want to know the other side of them. So today I am so privileged to have my sister Cynthia Chirinda. We are at her beautiful home. These women have beautiful homes. My sister, welcome to the show.
You know, Anya, I don't trust you when you've got that smile pasted on your face, and when she starts talking about fun. Great to have all the listeners and the viewers who are joining us, and of course Identities is a beautiful home brand. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Thank you for having us. I'm going to start with a question that's not scripted, because I feel like it's important for us to know. So there has been the DIY that has been really so prevalent right now because of COVID-19. Actually, it's DIY. Do it yourself. Yes. So what is the one thing that you DIY during COVID?
Oh, COVID has been crazy, sis.
Yeah.
So DIY and COVID. So some of us are into human capital development, and we're always with people, so we're always out there.
Yeah.
And so now that you have to do it yourself from home and still train the people, so you have to train yourself on all sorts of technologies, from Zoom to StreamYard.
Yes.
So how do you still connect with the people? So it's really been just teaching myself online tools, tech savviness. I'm telling you, that's quite something. So yes, that's been a lot of that. And of course, for some of us, juggling with parenting and 5 children.
Wow. And you wouldn't believe it's the 5 kids, and some of them are almost looking, like
we have to make sure we're giving birth for the entire Africa, so that everyone is covered.
I will not go there.
But you know what? Now with children, ordinarily they're at school, so they've got amazing teachers doing all this stuff. Right. And now all of a sudden you've got them. And then you've also got your screen time. You've got to do your work, and so the DIY now, you have to be the teacher at home. Yeah. So it was a bit crazy, I must say, because now you're being asked questions in this new curriculum, and you're trying to think, okay, my child. You see, so that was another DIY. Now you have to be teaching yourself again. Right. So I think those were some of the things, and some of the service providers, you can't just be calling them and saying, I've got this problem. So they're telling you how to do things over the phone. You're like, can't you just come? They're like, no, ma'am, corporate policy, we are not allowed to be doing any home visits. So you've got different situations where you need someone to come in and do something. So the other day I was calling my service provider, and I needed some connectivity back in the house, and they're like, I'm afraid, ma'am, we are not allowed to do any client home visits. So I said, okay, so what am I supposed to do? They go to that button, press this and press that. So it's you really have to be training. Yeah.
Wow. So what is the one thing that you learned yourself to do it yourself in this season? Oh my God, my sister just told me about technology. That's a big one. And everybody was forced to be online, and then the service provision where you need to fix your own internet and other things. That's amazing. Anyway, to the game. You need to pick you're going to pick 6 questions, but to the first one.
Okay, now this is making me nervous.
I'm
supposed I shouldn't peep, and I should just give them to you and trust you that you're going to read exactly what's here.
My God, why would I come and and just as well? Just
better be a good one.
Just as well.
Yeah.
So, where is your dream holiday vacation? And would you wear a bikini whilst there? My sister, you got a nice body.
And I'm very conservative. I'm as conservative as they come. And you read my books. And
why do you get to have this beautiful body and you're conservative?
Yeah, but serious, yes, I'm a strong raw background. So I'm going to carry my rep over. No, don't worry. So I love Zanzibar. I love Zanzibar. You won't believe it. I haven't been there. You're so well traveled. I haven't. I love it.
It's so cheap to go to Zanzibar.
I know.
Wow.
Okay. So anyway, it's good that we're saying it here. So I'm sure someone is going to donate and get the flight coming.
And the sister's single. I'm just going to put it. She's single. Putting it
and she's advertising right there. So Zanzibar, I love it. The whole African vibe. I watched a lot. Trust me, I travel a lot with my mind.
Wow.
So Zanzibar would be great. And yes, I'll definitely try the bikini whilst I'm at it. And now you're giving the gent ideas. Yeah.
that is the purpose of this program, so that they know the women that are always so strong and so they know their dreams, and sometimes they're single and sometimes they just want to have fun. So beautiful. So you want to go to Zanzibar?
Yeah, I think I will dress down. I've never done a bikini. I've been to the beach before. I've been to Hawaii.
Oh wow!
Yes, it was lovely.
Isn't that a lot of other people's dream? Wow, for a long time, a lot of people have that in their auto books.
Yeah, I was in Maui, a very, very beautiful place we had. But there was definitely no bikinis involved. But I'll try this time. I'll try.
Why would you go to Hawaii and no wear bikini?
I'm gonna put it on Facebook and say this is what I was dared to do, courtesy of Nyari.
On Identity Show, that we will chase. We will come after you if you don't do that. But you do know that we cannot take risk. Any things that come out of that, someone wanting you, getting married and all those things. We can't take
the full responsibility. So it better be a happy ending, sis.
It's fine.
Am I supposed to roll my next question now?
That's fine. For the second one.
Okay, I hope it's not going deeper.
I can't promise. I can't. But I know this one you will love because that's what you live for. So we wanna, and this is so much at your heart. So you're welcome to take a bit more time here, 2-3 minutes here, because we then don't have to pay you to be answered this question. So, because by the way, she's a life coach. What are you?
Life coach, strategist, consultant, publisher, and entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur.
My God, I was shocked when I got here. God. So, time management. How do you advise a young woman or a young man, or even a mature woman, mature man, who is watching you right now, how you balance between books, work, church, family, being a friend, a mother, a lover, a volunteer, other interests? Like I know you're promoting artists, you are an entrepreneur into furniture and all those things. How do you do all that?
Hey, Shinyari, it's not easy. It's not easy, but I
want to remain calm and young like you. And have 5 kids.
And have 5 kids. Yeah. She loves that point. Now, to whoever is watching you out there, you're young. I think you.
Or even old.
Okay, even old. That's fine. Because the young have got the advantage of energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so then there are really old, mature women, or women and men who got married very young. Absolutely. And who are like, where do I start? How do I balance? How do I juggle?
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, Nyari, for sure, family does bring on a whole lot more responsibilities, especially if you're doing single parenting. Yeah. Because it means that sometimes your support structure is not as strong as you want
it to be.
So it all comes back to the prioritization matrix, and that's one thing I train a lot when I'm doing goal setting and time management. And it comes back to then say, what is the end goal? What is the big picture? And then you're working with your key priorities. So for me, for example, with my values, family just remains key. It's not always easy because it requires a lot of emotional strength. Right. It requires a lot of emotional well-being, and I must say many of us are always running on the E. We're running on E in terms of emotional bankruptcy. So how do I do it? I think it's always in how you start the day. So what I've done is, over the years, I've developed a discipline. Every morning, without fail, Nyari, I have my morning prayer walk. Wow. It's a walk jog. So that takes care of my fitness. Wow. That takes care of every day.
For how long?
So normally I would wake up around 4-5 a.m. I would have my morning devotions, and then usually.
Okay, you also stay in a very safe neighborhood.
Yes, it is, and I thank God for that. I really thank God for that because it makes it so much easier. Of course. Yeah. And when you're going up and about, you're also meeting other fellow. Fitness, enthusiasts. Yeah. So I think it's how you then start the day that then comes down and cascades to how you work around your priorities. So I prioritize my health, my wellness, because sometimes you go to bed and you've got a lot of toxic stuff that is coming. Yes, clogged. That's the word. So I come out, I have my devotions in the morning, and then I'm going out.
For how long?
So normally when I go out around. Usually by 6 a.m. very latest I'm out. I'm usually back by 7. So a very minimum of 30 minutes to the most minimum. Ideally I would want an hour. That helps me to decompress. I make my declarations that she wants to put in a bikini.
All of us are looking for this now. So we just need to commend it when we see it.
But it requires a lot of discipline, which actually answers your question to then say, How do you manage time? It requires a lot of discipline, but you need to first say, what's my end goal?
Yeah.
And then you need to start the day on a powerful note. So it's what you say to yourself. I always say it's powerful. Most times we want people to prophesy over us and place hands over us. We want Papa to come and say, oh, you're going to be prosperous. You can use your own prophet. Yes, this one is your biggest prophet and prophet.
Yeah.
So I speak a lot. I speak to myself when I'm going out.
And we were just blessed when we got here. We were almost shaking, baby.
But everything has to start in prayer. We want to devote it to the Lord. So I would say that the best way to start your day right. Listen to the right things. Speak the right things to yourself. Create your own atmosphere. And then that way it helps you to juggle a lot of things, because you didn't think, oh my goodness, my child said they've got this and this and that age, and then I've also got this coaching appointment, and then I've also got a client coming in, and then now you have to then start looking and saying, okay, what can I delegate? What do I need to do myself? So I think in summary, that's really it. Starting out the day right on a powerful note, what you speak to yourself, what you take in, what you release out, and of course always working with the goal in mind. And you can't do that unless you've got an annual, at least a 1 year minimum personal development plan. You can't. Because yes, how do you cascade then your months to monthly plan, daily plan, and stuff like that? So you want me to shoot on to the next question? I'm cognizant that she said 6.
Absolutely. This is what
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
just don't rip me.
Not really. So what is your best asset for advancing what makes you unique?
My best asset for advancing what makes me unique, I would say it's self-introspection. I grew up as a reflective person. I told you I've got a very strong rural background. So that asset of embracing, honoring, nurturing solitude, quiet time, that's what keeps me grounded. You know, sometimes you go out there and people make you grow a big head, you know, and sometimes they, you know, they say great things, and I love it. I really love it for people who send through encouragement and feedback. It's great. But when I'm alone, I ground myself. I am able to reflect and think through things. So self-introspection for me is my greatest asset. It helps me to think. It helps me to strategize. It helps me to create. I'm a creative. It helps me to develop concepts, and it just helps me to develop the messaging that I need to get out there. I hope I've answered your question well.
You did. I think it is so powerful. I'm just interested. Where do you come from?
Chivu, born at Farm 33 Mtoro. I'm so excited about my roots. You know, it was tough, very tough upbringing. I write a lot about that.
You are
in my
so
books.
Gracious, though. I mean, you would not think that you're so polished.
Thank you.
Which I think it's good for a lot of us to emulate. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having rough edges, but I think you just demonstrate that it's possible to overcome graciously and be where you want to be.
Absolutely. It's all about decisions. I think developing yourself to become a contemporary brand helps you to interface with different people globally. But I thank God for my rural background. It has made me what I am.
Absolutely.
And it helps me to relate with others.
I'm always saying the same thing, that if I hadn't had that tough background, I don't know if I would have been able to be where I am today.
Because we wouldn't be able to catch you. You'd be flying.
Because then there's a tenacity. For me, it's the tenacity and a lot of perseverance that comes with it. I always tell people that if I overcame rural and came to Harare, there's nothing you cannot hold me back, because I made it. Mama, I made it. Because I came to Harare, I'm not going back. So.
Let's go for the next one.
I go back, but literally I just was in that manner.
No, definitely. I think our identity comes from our authenticity.
Yes, absolutely.
So we shouldn't deny that. There you go.
Yes.
Shoot at me, girl.
Isn't this so beautiful that we get to know you, the you, and then the other you? So, what would you say was your most embarrassing moment in life? And how did you deal with it?
There have been so many of those, from moments behind the in front of the cameras, to embarrassing. Well, I think most of it had to do with my childhood, I must say. And I write a lot about this.
Okay.
I can't say, well, of course it was embarrassing at that time, but it affected my confidence. I grew up in a family where the economics were not that good. So everything was second-hand me-downs. So when I then came to Harare, and I was now attending a school where my older siblings were attending. So they had their uniforms, and they were obviously down there, and I was this short little thing, and they were torn because they used to play by the rocks. So, in Shona we called them Zhigamba. So we had patches. So, it wasn't a day of embarrassment. I think it was an episode of embarrassments in my life, because then you'd always then have the children running around you in the school playground saying nechigamba takanamwa neshuru shuru. So I remember the first day I really cried. Cried. And then because we didn't have anything to put in our lunch boxes, the other children would come and they would have white bread. Way back then there was London and Lobo's bread, and and we didn't have anything. Would have carried mapudzi and chibage and stuff from the rural home. So I noticed there was a lunchbox in the house. I was like, okay, so at break time I'll pretend that I've got something. So I put some bed stuffings, the mattress, foam mattress in there. I was like, so when others are opening their lunchboxes, I'll then also open my lunchbox and I'll just pretend I've got bread. So I opened it, and my other friend said, yes, Cynthia, let's have a lunchbox. And everything came out, and there was these stuffings and stuff. But you're trying to live up. You're trying to be like,
but I'm just not thinking else as a child.
Yeah. So it was.
It probably took you years to come out of.
But that's what the resilience muscle is all about, and I guess it's what builds me.
Absolutely.
I remember, and everybody laughed, and they're like, she wants to be a wannabe, and that's why I'm so particular about authenticity.
Yes, absolutely.
Because at that time, carrying mapudzi and shibagi wasn't quite glorious.
I mean, right now it will be the food that you go to. You're like, I don't eat bread right now. Personally, I don't eat bread in my life. I'm off bread. I love chibage, I love mapudzi. But because we are also not informed as kids, and kids also have diets that they want.
We were socialized to glorify everything else that's not African.
Exactly.
You see, so it was embarrassing. But again, it made me. I embraced my authenticity.
That was hectic.
So I won't go to the adult embarrassments, but anyway, I remember that one.
Maybe we can just have an episode of like your most embarrassing moments, and then we laugh them off, and then cry maybe.
But it's good. It helps you to get over them.
Absolutely. And also you see the goodness of the Lord, saying where God has taken you from to where you are right now. And the next question: what is your biggest turn off in a man?
Lies, deception.
Okay.
Lack of consistency,
Right.
I think brothers can be anything, but they just need to show who they really are, because I think most of what has caused some of the crisis that we have in families and societies is people want to pretend to be who they're not, and then the other person commits to a picture of what was painted, which was not the reality.
But it's still kind of in a marriage.
But you know what? I think it's a real turn off when someone portrays something that they're totally not. And then you discover it and you actually realize that, you know what, you got conjugated to a lie. That's terrible. So I think for me, that's a major turn off. When someone cannot keep to their word, just a simple, I'll revert on this, and, the revert is like a year later, it has never happened.
It never happens.
So
lack of authenticity.
Yes, inability to just stand out to their word. So I think men out there, we just need to be real.
But is it also maybe not that women also are looking for lies? Like if a man was to tell you the truth, you're like dismissive and you're like, I'm done with you.
But I think that then should be the determining factor. That
come
alone,
out clean and then I make the decision.
Allow me to make my own decision. I think there is a degree where we should allow polish to not be mistaken for deception.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Next question.
There we go. I hope this is the final one.
Because
you're really roasting me here.
This is the sixth. question, and I love this one. It's a beautiful one. A cherry on the cake to finish. So. Yeah, it totally is. Trust me.
That's what she's saying about all the questions.
Which fellow women do you look up to or choose to celebrate, and why?
Okay, I'll start with you, of course. Oh. You know, the one thing I love about...
Did you just hear that?
Yeah,
I know.
of course. She's amazing. She's amazing. No, seriously. Nyari, wow. I've watched you. Doing things across the divide. So I've watched you in the European Parliament, or some place where you were the other time. And this was not even an English-speaking country. I think you even had a translator. And you were there and you were making us so proud, you know. And you were
in
speaking...
Czech Republic.
What was that?
Yeah. That was Czech Republic.
And then the next thing, I'm watching you and you're sitting with children with snot running all over, and you know, you are in a rural setting and you're doing your stuff. So I celebrate you, my sister. I just hats off to you. Yeah, much love. I celebrate so many African women. I mean, they're just too numerous to mention. I've written books on some of them, the likes of Divine Lukula. You know, she's done great stuff, just, you know, uplifting women.
She's also one of our women to watch.
Oh, that's powerful. Yeah, so I'm constantly profiling women on my programming. So it's a very long list, but I just want to say to all the women out there, even those who don't feel like they're doing stuff that's been recognized, I salute you. I really do. Every African sister who's just doing a small hustle, whether you're feeding a few orphans or you're even a mother who has taken on children who are not yours.
Or even your own children whose fathers have walked out. How many times do women
We
do
can
that?
write a book about that
time.
girl. Yeah. So I just want to salute every woman who has had to put her comfort aside, because I know how it is like, and there's no one else who's nourishing her. So I just want to say to her, yes, I celebrate you, but woman, I also want you to nurture and nourish yourself. Because sometimes we then break down because we're just going and pushing and we don't know where to stop. So we also need to love and celebrate on ourselves. So yeah, there we go.
And this is our way of us as identity, saying we celebrate you, we see you, we love you.
Wow.
We want Zimbabwe to know the amazing work that you do, pouring out your heart into the lives of Zimbabwean women, Zimbabwean men, citizens, building our nation. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
I receive. Thank you so much. This is so warm.
That was Cynthia Chirinda, my sister, that we profiled here on Women to Watch, and we hope to hear from you. Share our content, love, like. Let us know if there are people in your communities that you want us to celebrate. Maybe in the next season we'll come to them. Until next time, have a good one.